Hello everybody, it's me Roscoe and welcome to the latest instalment of Game Day, and we're arrived at the King Power Stadium as Ipswich Town take on Leicester City in the Premier League. It's the battle of 18th spot. Now, some people call this a dead rubber, but it isn't. It's a battle for that position because you get a bit of extra million if you finish in 18th. So that is the battle today. Also, it is Jamie Vardy's last ever game for the Foxes, so obviously a bit of loving for him, but obviously a legend at this club. FA Cup, Premier League, many goals, many games, and there's a lot of flags in the home end, as you can see behind me, and also here, saying thank you Vards. I'm sure they'll be proudly shown by the Leicester fans. Town fans, of course, will be in their way end. I'm sure they'll be loud for the final away game of the season in the top flight for Kieran McKenna's team. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a nice day. The sun is shining. I'm going to go downstairs, get myself a pie. I'm actually separated by AJ and Stu today. They're in their tight room where they get good scran. I just get a pie, which, you know what, it's fine. Final away game of the season. You know, maybe I need to sort the belly out a little bit as well. But yeah, let's get the food in the belly and let's see what team news, the thoughts of the Cowboy Army. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Okay then, team news has just dropped. A pie is in the belly and there's 4 changes for his town side. The changes are as follows as I look down at the team sheet. Leif Davis is back from his suspension. Jens Tuesday is in midfield with Sam Morsey. George Hurst is up top instead of Liam Delat, which screws me because I triple captain Liam Delat with FPL today, and I hope he comes off the bench and scores a hat-trick. That would be lovely for me. And Jack Clark also starts as well, and hopefully he doesn't get dragged off early doors because of a red card again for Town. Hopefully that isn't the case. Those are the changes. Obviously Jamie Vardy starting for Leicester. Lovely sunny day, by the way, as the players do their warm-ups. I'm ready to get in my snappy snap position in the first half, and we shall see what's in store. I'm back to Town win. Sat quietly as Leicester fans look at me. I've gone 4-2 because goals. Final home game for Leicester, final away game for Town. Hopefully it's a good game. Let's get right into it. And I was very close to the camera there. Let's get right into it. Bingo then, not long till kick-off. Not gonna light those flames, I'm bloody hot. Here we go. And then the players coming out the tunnel. Atmosphere is buzzing here. And I have to admit, these flames, by the way, I'm bloody hot. There we go. Flames coming out my head. There we go. Kick off is go. Let's do this. So full time here in Leicester, and it's a 2-0 win for the Foxes. We weren't able to spoil that Jamie Vardy party because he went on to score. Of course he did. And then he went on to score a second goal in the second half. Here we're good old Dazza, my friend, a local one for you, I know.
Yes.
Disappointing the end our way trips this season against Leicester, who will likely potentially finish 18th now because of this win. Just your snap thoughts on this defeat in Leicester, my friend.
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised. To be honest, the way that our results have been going and they've been creeping up behind us, I thought they were probably going to overtake us today. You know, it's the Vardy fest, as it were. And you know, I live local, and I've got a lot of family and people who support Leicester, so I'm not going to begrudge them it. I've got a little bit of appreciation for them. But I have to say today, if we could finish. We might have had a chance. We've created the chances today. I mean, I had a look at the stats, and I know XG is not for everybody, but our XG today over 1.5.
Wow.
Theirs was 0.7.
I scored 2 goals.
So, you know, I mean, fundamentally, that's been our biggest downfall today. You know, yeah, we've not helped ourselves defensively. Bit of a question mark on, you know, Palmer being beaten at his near post for the second one, although I thought that was a cracking finish, in fairness. That's the kind of quality we didn't have when it came to the crunch. And I think that's the problem is, you know, it says a lot for why the two teams are where they are, that, you know, a 38-year-old Jamie Vardy is probably still the best finisher on that pitch. You know, they've managed to put 2 past us today, but I mean, ultimately, there's not really a lot of quality on either side. And I think it did show today. They're not a great side, Leicester. But I think that's what would worry me a bit, is looking at it, you think, well, that's not a great Leicester side. And they've beaten us today without us being able to find a way through. I think if anybody thinks we can take this team and just breeze the championship next season, I think we really have to think again, to be honest. So
yeah.
A lot's got to happen, to be honest. But yeah,
definitely. And yeah, they're having a party inside because obviously this is their last home game of the season, so they're always going to do like an end of season thing. But obviously Vardy has got the party he wanted. don't know where we go from here. We've obviously got West Ham up next. We need a win at home, don't we?
Yeah, it would be nice. Back time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, obviously, I won't ask questions about the Championship just yet. That's for pre-season stuff. But just to round off these interviews, even though this season's not been great, been relegated, what's your sort of favourite away day moment? Obviously, it's not today. But anything that sort of springs to mind, because obviously our 4 wins, 3 of them have been away from home.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because I've been at all 3 of them. I mean, Tottenham away was brilliant. It was good to finally have that moment after 20 some odd years. Obviously Jack Taylor at Wolves, probably the one moment like that this season, like we'd had in recent years, where we just we clinched it at the death. Personally, I actually really enjoyed Bournemouth away. Yeah. I know it wasn't really of any consequence by then, but I actually had a cracking couple of days.
That's when we
down
thought, ooh, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was just before Wolves, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you sort of thought that might have been a chance for a resurgence. But I enjoyed that trip. It was just a good couple of days down by the seaside. So really, there, to be honest, other than that, and I was there for when we beat Coventry in the FA Cup, which was, that's the kind of game that I look at and I think, hopefully that's next season. But yeah, to be honest, they're the only days really to sort of hang my memories on for this year. So let's hope next one's a better one, eh?
Next up, I'm joined by the returning Mike, the bucket hat man, who's been travelling the world. Been good seeing you.
What?
No, I'll bleep that now. Thanks, Mike. Returning. Yeah. Thoughts on that, mate? A defeat against Leicester, who...
Poor.
Yeah.
Very, very... It's disjointed. What are they doing in training? I mean, they've got less games this season than they have in the Championship, and they're like... That finishing was poor. I mean, Amari is so skillful, but he fluffed 2 good chances that normally all you do is focus, bleep again.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? Pick your spot, bang, and he didn't. And then Broadbean comes on, and he has a good chance.
Julio and Seaside a few chances, didn't he? George Hurst as well.
Like long range stuff like that.
Yeah, they were long range, so they're more like, okay, let's see.
I'm talking about really good chances where unmarked, bang.
Stanley talk some shit.
Talking rubbish again.
No, you're not talking any rubbish, mate. But obviously, Leicester right now they're having a party inside. Obviously, they got
It's like going to the pantomime, isn't it? Now it was like pantomime. That was. It's almost like it was already scripted.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was always going to
score. We all knew that
Vardy
Vardy were going to score.
Yeah.
He had 2 chances where he missed, and then it's like, well, give him another chance.
Yeah.
Why he came over to our fans and celebrated?
He loves that, doesn't he? Loves that.
You know what I mean? Why not go and celebrate with your own fans?
No, he loves that though.
And then from then on, they just wasted time, didn't they?
Yeah, and obviously they got the second, and that sort of killed the game. But obviously we got a goal, but then it was obviously offside, and
I don't know. Ross.
Yeah, this is not the way we want to end the season.
I mean,
really.
they scored in the 69th minute, right? Why have our subs not off the bench?
Yeah.
By then,
that's been a big criticism actually to McKenna
Why?
recently, like late changes.
See, Jack Clark was blowing out of his
backside.
I was going to say something else.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone knows where he's going to go with that.
He's blowing out of his arse, really, wasn't he?
That's right? You can say that, I think. Yeah.
And it's like, well, why not take him off? Because he was making mistake after mistake.
Well, he was
like,
sadly,
he's tired.
for the
He wants
first
to come
goal.
on. Get somebody else on. Get Broadbean on it. I don't know. I don't know why we waited so long.
Yeah.
It's.
There's been a few moments this season, hasn't there, where you just like closing door. You just sort
It annoys me when people say that we're a good team, and that we're better than them, or you know what I mean. We've given it a good go, or whatever else. No, we haven't. Now we're second bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least we're not as bad as Southampton.
And these guys were poor.
They were like I think 9 games in a row without scoring.
I know.
But then we've only won once at home as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And yet we're still below them, and they beat us today. Quite convincingly in the end.
Pretty much. I know we had the chances, but like you said, not clinical enough. And
it doesn't feel. I know. Look, if you look back to last season, was it Burnley and Sheffield United coming down? All right, Luton did a free fall.
Yeah.
But I think Luton was stripped of all their players, to be honest.
Yeah, the old squad
And
as well.
but Sheffield United they look like they're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Championship's a lot easier than the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But
and these guys are probably, with Southampton, going to be the toughest games. You think?
Well, there's talk like they're a bit of a basket case, both teams, and obviously they have potentially new managers, but then like Leicester last time, they brought in Enzo, and obviously they went on to win the league. So, and did Southampton do the same? Was it Russell Martin came in as well, and then in his first season?
Yeah, but
Anyway.
in the Championship, Southampton will be all right.
Yeah, they've got a squad there.
I just feel like there are probably about 6 teams, and we're one of them.
Yeah,
I know we're favourites to go. Apparently, we were favourites
Yeah.
to go straight back up. But
There's no parachute payments, though.
the rest
is
of
there?
the, you know,
The other
the
clubs.
rest of the division is pretty much simple, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
you
easy.
think so?
If we could get back to slick passing football and putting the bloody ball in the net,
Yeah.
not thinking about it,
Partnerships
just
again as well.
instinctively. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Bang, it's
Yeah.
in the net. Because that's what we were lacking today.
Yeah.
There's
But you
none
think
of
that's
that.
because of the level in the Premier League? Do you think maybe
No.
players not been able to step up?
No.
No?
No, there's 2 goalposts.
Yeah,
Exactly the same. 2
yeah.
goals.
But you've
2
got better
nets,
players.
right?
Premier League.
The pitch is the same size. The
Better
ball's
players.
still round.
Better
You
players.
put the ball in the net.
You're not playing Preston's, mate. You've been playing like.
No, but we had opportunities like we
did,
would have
we did.
done against Preston. There was men open.
Yeah, we just couldn't
and
finish.
we're not putting it in the net. We're not
goalkeepers-
punishing teams when they make mistakes.
Yeah.
So it don't fill you with confidence, really, does it?
No.
About what's going on.
I'm sure there'll be massive recruitment. A big talker point as well. Like obviously, George Hurst started today. Obviously, we know Lindelap's probably going to go. Although I'm annoyed, as I mentioned in the intro, I triple captain Lindelap today in FPL, and he probably gets 2 points maybe today for playing. Maybe, I don't know. But mate, let's wrap it up.
But George Hurst scored a lot of goals, like over the top, and he ran
He
onto
did,
the balls
yeah.
and bang, he put it in the
Boom.
net. None of that. There was opportunity for him for passes to be played through to him, because their 2 defenders were right wide open, and he was there in the middle, and it could have been slipped over for him to one side or the other, and he could have been one-on-one with the keeper. We're not doing it though. We're not going to the byline anymore, cutting it back. Occasionally, I think Leaf did it once or twice here,
Yeah.
and it went across the 18-yard box, and nobody got on the end of it. It's just like we've lost it. We've lost that rhythm that we built up in League One, then through the Championship, which was so simple football, down the wing, pull it back, somebody goes onto it, bang, that it's in the net. We've lost that.
Yeah.
Because now it's just disjointed. It's like as if you got 11 individual players there. You got Sam Morsey frustrated, screaming at players. He picks the ball up, drives forward, and all our players are watching him drive through and not helping him
Making
out.
the runs, yeah.
As if to say, "Where's he going?"
Yeah. Well, I'm
It's
sure
it's
Kieran McKenna has
11
learned
individuals out
learned
there.
a lot this season. I'm sure a few players as well have learned a lot. So, pre-season they have to get back on it, and we
Maybe
have to
once
see.
we get rid of a few players and that, with the
there'll be a few that will
speculation that's
leave,
going on,
and yeah.
get rid of them and then start cementing the team together. It's just a shame of all the injuries we've had.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I mean, on the right wing with Wes Burns and was that guy from Luton out all
Bennett,
season.
pretty much.
Right?
Yeah, it was like October time. he
And
got
did we
injured.
bring somebody else in as well on that wing, and they're out as well.
Oh, there's so many players injured. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah, obviously Amari missed a little bit, and there's been a lot of injuries this year. But every team get injuries. But
Don't know.
yeah, but has there any been like I asked Dazza before, and he's recording this, so his bloody hand is probably hurting him because I forgot to bring my bloody holder thing. Stand with me. Any good away days, memories this season? You were at Spurs, and you've been at a few others.
I think Spurs is probably the only one really. It was a good away day. I mean, but then again, we won, didn't we? So
Yeah, and then first time I've been there as well. So
first time we've been there.
yeah,
It's been more bad than good. Let's put it that way. There's been a lot more soulless stadiums that we've visited.
Man City.
Yeah.
We started on them. Mate, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for all your contributions this year. And we'll see you maybe next season, or will I see you at West Ham?
Yeah, we'll see you next season.
Yeah, back in the Championship. Cheers, bud.
Back in the Championship.
Buckingham, man. Okay, and the final duo joining me is Finn and good old Dan. These boys, home and away, just every game pretty much, this season as well, which is incredible support from you boys. Start with you, Dan. We haven't been great this year, unfortunately. Reflections on today, a defeat against a team that, we were hoping to be above of this year, but unfortunately, lost
hoping to come here today and spoil Vardy's party. We all knew he was going to score, as he did, had a couple of good chances and fluffed it, but, whether you like him or hate him, he can finish. He can finish. We were really poor today, though. I thought, we created so many chances, but shooting in front of goal
clinical,
today.
weren't you?
absolutely dominating in the first half, and then we find ourselves 1-0 down again. But that just sums up our season, I think. We're just not clinical enough, and it's come back to bite us, isn't it? So, but just seemed very disjointed today. I thought Morsey was giving it his all. He was shouting and hollering at players around him because, we had more than a couple of chances there where it's laid on a plate and just very poor finishing. So disappointing today. We've had some memorable moments.
We'll talk about that shortly. We'll talk about that shortly. Finn, my friend, your first Premier League experience, but unfortunately, it's obviously ended in a bit of a damp squid in a way. Just your thoughts on today and Premier League experience as a whole.
I think today we created chances, but obviously didn't take them. Weren't clinical enough, as Dad said. And to sum up the season, we've been in games, but we haven't taken chances. And
would you say you enjoyed the season? As you said, your first experience of Premier League football, obviously VAR, bloody hell, enough of that. But just as a whole, just as an Ipswich Town fan, experiencing it for the first time.
I've liked the travelling, going to new stadiums, but I think VAR does ruin the game sometimes. It's a bit controversial, or whatever. But I've loved the ride, going to all the games. I miss Bournemouth, but
it's fine.
School night.
It's school night. Good parenting.
Yeah,
good
he'd already had United off, so hopefully school's not watching. So he was ill. He was ill. So, but like I say, it's been a great journey. Finn's got to see some of the best stadiums in the world this year. We have had some
What's your favourite
good
ones?
moments.
What'd you say?
Tottenham, fantastic stadium. Really enjoyed that day. That was epic. Really enjoyed that. Not the full result, but obviously to go 1-0 up against City. Obviously, I don't think VAR helped us in that game because Leeds should have had a blatant penalty. And then they go the other end, get the same foul, penalty. And whether you like to say it or not, there is a bias towards the bigger teams. I can say it because me and Finn have watched it this season on countless times. Like the reverse fixture from today. Are coming together. More like a two-handed push onto Chaplers, straight over backwards. And a couple of the loans haven't worked out this season. We was expecting big things from Calvin, but he's had a stop-start season. I thought up until Leicester, he was starting to coming into it really well, and then he got sent off, and then he's had these silly little injuries. Everything had to go right for us this season to stand a chance. You got Axel, who should never cook ever again because he nearly cut his own finger off.
He did. I think it was awful.
And like I say, I've liked Enciso coming in. He sometimes frustrates a bit, sometimes tries to go one too many, but he is an exciting player. Koste, I've liked Koste as well. I thought he's really done well. I liked him.
It's not even our squad now.
We'll
just stand here, Finn. Let your dad just.
Sorry, I'm rattling on and that, but like I say, we'll be come back next year. We'll be here with you, home and away, every game, following the Blues, up or down. This is just a blip. Victims of our own success, really, haven't we? We come up really quickly. Whereas the other teams like Brentford and stuff like that, they hung about in the Championship, had a few seasons to develop that team. We had a lot of new players come in, and I don't think we had that gel, especially the old gel, the old cookie word.
You're going to get kidnapped now, someone's going to come and get you and go.
But like I say, it will be a big learning curve for Kieran and for the team. Who we end up losing, I don't know. Obviously Delap's, the main man at the moment on everyone's lips, but other than him, I'm pretty confident we should be able to keep hold of the majority of the squad, and we will come back stronger because that's what we do. What we do. So
I'm putting you on a spot here, Finn. Will we be back in the Premier League next season or season after next? What do you reckon?
I think we will be. I don't think we'll do a Luton, obviously.
Hope it may not, jeez.
Because we got player signatures last week, and Kayuste he sounded like he wants to stay, and all the players do seem happy here. Delap, I'd say he'd advance his career going, but he won't start every game like he does here. Yeah, so I hope he stays here because he would smash the championship along with Kayuste. And in Seaside, I don't know, I think we might be able to, but it depends. Depends what Brighton want, really.
Yeah.
Because obviously, same with Napoli, innit?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you heard it here first, Finn, so we'll be back in the Premier League very soon. So,
Yeah,
thanks, boys.
up the town.
Up to town. There we go.